Race season is getting closer, so instead of dialing my wheelies in, I will focus on my racing lawnmower. I will show you what it can do, and later I will change the carburetors. But first I have to do a little weld job. For the people who don't know, this racing lawnmower started life as MTD B130 and is now roughly 30 years old. However, the frame and the body panels are still original. I modified it extensively. Previously, it had a little one-cylinder engine. Now it has a V-twin with a custom carb setup, air intake, exhaust, connected to a centrifugal clutch, custom driveline, to a custom G-drive with a custom top hat, new lawnmower tires which are slightly bigger. The seat are refurbished. I made it a little bit wider, a little bit stiffer. Custom steering chain setup. A lot of custom work. I worked on this since roughly 3 years. And now we need to fix it, drive it, improve it, and drive it again. But first things first, I will work my steering, and then we will go for a drive and set a baseline and see if the change I do with the carburetors will actually have effect or not. Here's another look. V-twin engine, slide style carburetors, air filters, custom exhaust, chain steering on a rack and pinion. Let me just show you what I did. I finally took the time and took the steering assembly out. I have a rack and pinion here, which then activates my custom, whatever you call them. And I never actually took it off the lawnmower, so I never was able to fully weld it. Now it looks like this. You can see it's probably complete overkill, but this won't go anywhere. And before it was basically just tacked. As well as I put some welds over here and here, which stops this one from rotating forward and backwards. But one last thing I have to fix is this hole here. For that, I 3D printed a cap, and let's see if it fits. Kind of fits, but it's a bit loose. I might reprint this. That was actually quite fun. I didn't have the chance to drive it for a while since I was working on the other lawnmower, so it's really time to get back to this one. And the things I want to change: carburetor. Let me show you the replacement. I went for a smaller model, with fancier colors. So basically what the main difference is that this size is smaller. So why would I go with a smaller carburetor? Is it bigger not better? More power? Yes, technically bigger carburetor makes more power. However, smaller carburetor is more responsive. So what do I actually change by changing the size of carburetor? Since this is a 28mm diameter, where the other one was the 34, to get the same airflow through, the air needs to go faster. If the air goes faster, the Venturi effect, which pulls the fuel up, is stronger, which means it's more responsive. Something else I will figure out is the air filters. These, as you can see, are quite short. Technically, I don't want that, but the problem is that those are actually touching. What I did was actually 3D printed inside, so it fits perfectly on this. So I can actually swap them over, even though it's a different air filter. I think it will be fine. So that is one thing I want to do. The other thing I want to do is upgrade my cola bottle. For the people who don't know, I use this as my catch can. I actually decided to buy a proper catch can. It has 2 inlets, a pressure gate, and in the top it has the outlet for the air, so there won't be extra pressure going in. And then on the side you can see how much oil filled up, and then you can empty it if you need to. That will also give me a quick overview in the race if I have to top off the oil. If this starts filling up a lot, then I know that I should fill up the oil. What I will do with this is actually mount it, but not here, but on the other side. If you're old viewer, you probably know why, and that's because of the weight balance. I actually checked the weight of each corner, and I know that it has a little bit more weight on the left side compared to the right side. So I'm gonna mount it on the right side. This also gives me the opportunity to run a longer tube, which helps, and you want to keep as much oil as possible in your engine. So for now I will mount it on the other side and then see how I will mount it, and also make sure that this is visible fairly easy without removing the hood completely. After all this, I will tune the engine so it runs great. Every time you do something with the carburetor, I would recommend tuning the engine. I actually have a video where I tuned it with ChatGPT. I won't go into depth like I did back then, but it actually worked, and I might use it this time again. And finally, before we drive it, I will do an oil change and I will install a new oil filter. I'm quite curious if this one fits. I bought it on Temu. I also have a question for you guys, and that is, did you like this camera view? Pointing down at the steering assembly and all the things moving while driving. I thought it could be a cool idea. It was quite shaky, however, and I don't know if I can make it any more stable. Did you know that you actually don't have to cut zip ties? You can use one of those, clamp it on the side, hard, and then pull. Here we go. And now it's loose. And so the new carburetors, and I'm at the first decision point. Which air filter should I use? If you think this one, you're not stupid, because it gives probably a better performance. However, if I put it like this, they're always touching in the end and always rubbing. You can actually see it quite a bit on this one. There's like some shiny bits and where the paint went off, and it's because it's moving, and one is always making the other one bend down a little bit. So I'm not a big fan of those. So I think for now, I will just attach those. Let's see. Yeah, this opens completely. And this one as well. Nice. Both carburetors are installed, and I connected the fuel line, throttle cable, and the air filters. But before I started, I would like to install the catch can, so I don't spill oil everywhere. I never fully explained why I need a catch can. So the reason why I need a catch can is that sometimes there comes oil out of this tube. What is this tube? This tube is connected to the engine block. Because of the movement inside, there's positive pressure in the crankcase, and this pressure wants to go out, and this is actually a vent, so it can. So what it does is allows the engine to rotate without building a lot of pressure. So that's a great thing. However, sometimes there's oil coming out of this. So what I will do is route this pipe over here to the catch can. Simple enough. However, this is the tube which is gonna be connected to the catch can, and it's the right diameter for the catch can. But you can see this doesn't fit. Well, I will make it fit. I have tape and some hose clamps, so it's gonna fit, even if it's ugly. And then I will show you the other end. I connected the catch can, and actually I quite like the position here. The only thing I'm in doubt of is if it actually fits under the bonnet, because The bonnet goes here. I think it will fit, but it's actually getting quite close. I'm able to rotate this a little bit in case, but let's just put the bonnet on and see if it actually fits. Let me give you a close-up of how it looks now. Because this will be all the way, but there's just enough space for everything. Same thing on this side. With the routing of this, obviously it starts over here, but the important thing is that it goes up before it goes down. As long as it goes up, it's harder for the oil to escape the engine. So you want it to go up for quite a while, but eventually it should go down in the catch can. So in my case, it goes all the way up until here, and then it goes down. Since I only have one tube going to the catch can, I removed one of those and connected the tube. The other hole I exchanged for a bolt, and I used some liquid gasket around it just to seal it. It's probably not the best, but I'm quite sure it will work, so I'm happy with that. And next up, let's try to tune the engine. Before I start tuning the engine, I want to make sure of two things. The first thing is both carburetors need to be set at the same thing. And the other thing is I want to double check my spark plugs, since usually it was running very rich. And before I drove it, I had it cleaned, so let's see how dirty they actually got. Both of them are very black, indicating that the engine is running very rich. And it doesn't surprise me, because with the old setup, I had to run it very rich to avoid bogging down when I accelerated. This would allow more fuel in the beginning and make it actually run quite well, as long as the spark plugs were clean. If I would run for another 20 minutes, they would be even more black, which would result in misfires. I will tune the carburetors now, and I can adjust 5 things: the idle, the air fuel screw, the main jet, the pilot jet, and the needle. I will start by seeing if it even starts, and if it does, remove the choke, see if it still idles, see at which RPM it idles, aim for roughly 1700, a point where the wheels stop spinning. Then I will blip the throttle, see if they stop by itself again. If that happens, I will let it get up to temperature. Then I will adjust the air-fuel mixture screw. This screw is down here, and I will go one carburetor at a time. So I will only focus on one carburetor, and when I'm happy with that one, I will go to the other one. The way I will do that is I will take my little screwdriver and rotate a quarter turn up, see if the RPM goes up. If the RPM goes up, I will keep rotating that direction, quarter turn at a time, and just check, is the RPM higher or lower? That is why I really like to have a tachometer. You can find them on Amazon and all these different places for not that much money, and they're very easy to install. The reason why it starts going up is because the mixture is getting more efficient. The reason why it drops down is because it gets less efficient. It's gonna be loud. Now that the carburetor is dialed in, I would like to do an oil change just to give it the best chances. The old oil might have had a little bit of fuel in it, so I want to change the oil and the filters. I'm just making a quick oil change, and I already loosened the bolt. Then I added a plastic bag, taped it in place, and have the catch can underneath, as you can see here. So now it should just be finger tight. Let's see if I can do it without spilling. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Let's check the oil quality. Turns a little bit darker. The camera makes it actually quite translucent, but it's a little bit dirty, but actually still really good. No chunks, no nothing, so really happy with that. Shout out to Isaac24U. He wrote in my comments and helped me figure out how to get the oil filter out. And he suggested, since I don't have the correct tool, to use a chain with a vice grip. And now, let's see if I can do it with one hand. Use your turn. There we go. So now let's see if the new oil filter fits. This one is originally from Brixton Starton, but the Tecumseh doesn't have any spare parts, at least not here, so let's see if it fits. Yes, it does. So I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on the sealant. That seems good. Time to drive it. Let me just set up the rest of the cameras. And then let's go. I forgot to turn on the fuel. I'm pretty sure I ran out of fuel. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but this is empty. Let me show you. This is empty, but it runs great. Holy shit. Whew. I hope you like the ass crack camera. I shouldn't be that out of breath, but I am. But it runs great. I feel that it's way more responsive, and it's just a great machine. I'm so happy. The weather's perfect, it runs great, and it's awesome, man. Let me just catch my breath and I will talk to you more. This is an awesome machine, and if you like the camera angles, please let me know. Or if you have an idea something I should try, also let me know, because I only have so many angles. I record all this by myself, there's no one helping me. So I try to find the best angles and cut it together so it actually looks nice for you guys and also quick. So if you have an idea, or if you like a particular angle extra much, please let me know. This machine is awesome. I can't wait to race this. But to be able to race this, I also need to get my trailer up and running. I have not done a lot of work since, but the idea is to have a racing lawnmower trailer where I can roll the lawnmower out and the colors match, and people know as soon as I see this that I'm serious and prepared. So let's go. Thank you so much for watching. Maybe consider subscribing or liking or commenting. Please leave a comment about the camera angles. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next episode. Goodbye.